Please be seated. Good morning, everyone. I'm Don Tapscott, and I'm the Chancellor of Trent University and a proud graduate of this great institution. I'm actually one of 4 Tapscott brothers who graduated from Trent. It was quite a while ago. But it is with great pride that I act as your Chancellor. And I'd like to begin by saying that I've traveled around the world and I've attended my share of convocations. And for all of you students today and for everyone else, there's no more spectacular place on planet Earth than this setting right here on the side of the Otonabee River. So we're all very fortunate. A river does flow through it. And I think we should begin by thanking Mother Nature for bringing on this spectacular day. Could we bring it on for Mother Nature, please? We're also doubly blessed today at this particular ceremony as we have the founding president of Trent, Tom Simons, and his wife, Christine, here, mercifully back in the shade. So could we please give a warm Trent welcome to Tom and Christine. For more than 50 years, Trent's been graduating students and challenging the way that we think about the world and probably about learning itself. And today, more than ever, Trent graduates are in demand. And in fact, Trent is on a roll. And I know firsthand that as a Trent grad, you're going to be uniquely equipped and prepared for the exciting and challenging future that lies ahead. And with your Trent experience, you have the tools to take full advantage of the opportunities around you. So this is your moment. Create a principled life of consequence and a purpose that's uniquely your own. Heartfelt congratulations to each of you on reaching this important milestone. I now declare the convocation open.
Good morning. My name is Leo Groark. I consider myself very lucky to be the 8th President and Vice Chancellor of Trent University. I want to begin today by acknowledging that we are located in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe-Mississauga, adjacent to the Haudenosaunee territory in southern Ontario. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to our graduates, their parents, families, spouses, partners, and friends. I know that some of you have come from close by, and some of you, particularly our guests today, have come from afar. I did want to begin by noting some special guests who are with us today. First, the chair of the Board of Governors of Trent University, Rod Taylor. I think applause would be suitable, Rod. I wanted to welcome the faculty from Fleming College who are here to celebrate the graduates of the Ecological Restoration Joint Program that we run with Fleming College. And last but not least, I wanted to give a special welcome to our friends from Curve Lake First Nation. And there's a bit of a story here. I just would like you to know the background. Today we will be honoring somebody from Curve Lake. Of course, we're honoring them because of their personal accomplishments, not because of where they come from. But it is a special pleasure to honor someone who comes from Curve Lake, because Trent University and Curve Lake have a long background that really begins with the founding of the university 50 years ago. And just to give you a flavor of that, I'd like to quote, this is from a speech that Chief Phyllis Williams gave in 2014 at the celebration of Trent's 50th university. She says, "Curve Lake has a long a long-standing relationship with Trent University, which began with $2 and mutual respect. Curve Lake Chief Dalton Jacobs, some 50 years ago, contributed the first $2 to kick off fundraising for a new university, which was within what was then known as Trent Valley. A unique relationship has been formed, one that is still evident today. This relationship was founded on respect and honor, and today still continues with many projects and events. May this special bond be honored as long as the wind shall blow. And I think today's convocation with our honorary degree recipient will take that relationship with Curve Lake even further. To our visitors, I want to say that I hope you will enjoy Trent, this wonderful campus. Take some time to look around it. There are lots of canoes and kayaks around if you want to trout the river. But the university lawyers have asked me to say that please don't do that if you haven't been canoeing and kayaking before. Now, I did want to say something about the sense of community and about this ceremony. Of course, this ceremony has a serious aspect. The graduates today have completed all the requirements for their degrees. But this is Trent, and at Trent we're formal, but we're informal too. So I wanted to remind you that the ceremony is supposed to be fun, okay? Don't be shy, make noise. To the parents, I want to say feel free to embarrass your sons and daughters as they come across, okay? And this is an academic event, so for those of you who are not in university, whenever you say something at an academic event, you have to justify it with references and a bibliography. So I went and I got some references about the history of Harvard convocations. I'll just note, Samuel Batchelder noted in his Bits of Harvard History that our forefathers closely associated the thirst for learning with the thirst for beer. Research by Harvard archivist Marvin Hightower found that the comparatively few graduates of 1703, and in 1703 there were about 20 graduates from Harvard, they and their guests consumed 14 barrels of beer, 18 gallons of wine, and a barrel of cider. Hightower also notes that in 1797, a live elephant was brought from Providence, Rhode Island, to be exhibited at convocation, along with people dressed as mermaids and mummies and displays of two-headed calves. The locals were invited to compete with Harvard scholars in prize competitions of target shooting. I'm sorry, we don't have any elephants, okay, and we don't have any mermaids, but we're here to have fun, and we like you to infuse that into the convocation. Maybe a round of applause for all the fun we're going to have. Now, that being said, I'm going to get a little serious for just a moment. Today, we celebrate convocation. This is the most important event in the university calendar. This is a time when we celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates, the contributions and support of their family and friends, and the pivotal role played by our faculty and staff in guiding them to this moment. This year, we celebrate a special convocation milestone, this being Trent's 50th convocation. As of this year, Trent has enjoyed 50 years of welcoming and honoring our new alumni. As we celebrate Trent's 50th convocation, it is interesting that Canada celebrates its 150th anniversary. Trent has been a key force in the development of Ontario and Canada over the last 50 years. Over the next 50 years, as Canada approaches its 200th birthday, Trent plans to be a significant catalyst for its further development. I want to tell all the graduates that I'm expecting them all to come back to celebrate for our 100th convocation. That's 50 years from now. I won't be there, but I expect all of you to be. At each of our convocation ceremonies, I try to share a few stories that can help our visitors understand Trent and who we are and what we are a little bit better. Today I'd like to draw your attention to 3 highlights. The first is a campus development, our new student center, which is going up just behind the Battle Library. And I invite you to walk past it, especially on the riverside. It's going to be a spectacular building. It's another architectural masterpiece for Trent. I do want to note that it has been the result of the work and commitment of many, many people. And I'd note in particular with our graduates, in particular, the commitment of Trent students who will realize their desire for a whole lot of things, which include a centralized hub for services, a better home for the Trent Central Student Association, space for student clubs and groups, Starbucks, and the students and the VP of Finance all insisted that it had to be Starbucks, and space for student life, career development, and student wellness for all future Trent students. Now, I may get in trouble for what I'm going to do next, and I don't want to embarrass anyone, but we have one student in particular here that I would like to recognize, and that is Elaine Spiewak, the president of the Trent Student Association. Elaine, where are you? Don't hide. There we go. Thank you for all your work on the Student Center. A couple other highlights I'd note very quickly. One, the formation of the Trent School of the Environment, which happened earlier this year. For 50 years, Trent has been a trailblazer in environmental research and teaching, being one of the first Canadian universities to establish programs in environmental studies. This year, this has culminated in the launch of the University School of the Environment. Secondly, this was just approved at the last Senate meeting and will be approved at the final board meeting of the year. I want to note the establishment of the Cheney-Wenjack School for Indigenous Studies. Trent's groundbreaking leadership in Indigenous studies dates back to our beginnings. We were the first university in Canada to establish an undergraduate program and then the first university to establish a PhD program in Indigenous studies. In close collaboration with Indigenous elders, traditional knowledge holders, and Indigenous communities, the school will promote research and transmit Indigenous knowledges in both its historical and contemporary forms at Trent and in local, national, and global communities. In keeping with that, Mr. Chancellor, I'd like to turn now to the awarding of an honorary degree to someone who has helped maintain our relationship, not just with Indigenous people, but within the land at Trent University. Mr. Chancellor, I call upon Professor David Newhouse to introduce an individual whose remarkable contributions will be recognized with an honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Thank you all for being here.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the graduating class, faculty, family, and friends. Ogima, Loyana, leader. Oskwewes, helper, chief. The life of an Indigenous leader is perilous. To survive as a leader for more than a half century is a great feat. To retire as a leader with the respect of an entire community is an extraordinary achievement. Leadership requires a keen understanding of the nature of community, the forces that animate them, and an ability to make sense of the chaos of everyday life and politics. In my tradition, the Kainaisakoa, a document more than 800 years old, sets out the qualities that leaders ought to embody. The leaders of the Confederacy shall be mentors of the people for all time, The thickness of their skin shall be 7 spans, which is to say that they shall be proof against anger, offensive actions, and criticism. Their hearts shall be filled with peace and goodwill, and their minds filled with a yearning for the welfare of the people. With endless patience, they shall carry out their duty, and their firmness shall be tempered with a tenderness for their people. Neither anger nor fury shall find lodgment in their minds, and all their words and actions shall be marked by calm deliberation. The Guidance to Go also sets out instructions that leaders are to follow. In all of your deliberations, in all of your efforts at lawmaking, in all of your official acts, self-interest shall be cast into oblivion. Cast not over your shoulder, behind you the warnings of the nephews and nieces should they chide you for any error or wrong that you may do, but return to the way of the Guidance to Go, which is just and right. Look and listen for the welfare of the whole people, and always have in view not only the present, but also the coming generations, even those whose faces are yet beneath the surface of the ground, the unborn of the future nation. Chief Knott exemplifies all of these qualities and has followed these instructions faithfully. Chief Knott started his career as a leader in the Curve Lake First Nation community in 1958 and formally ended it in 2016 at the age of 80. He served his community for an extraordinary 6 decades as a volunteer, a member of council, and as chief, and most importantly, as husband, father, and grandfather. Chief Knott has also been a long-standing friend of Trent, and Chief Knott has been a leader in the half-century effort to create places of dignity and respect for Indigenous people in Canada. His leadership has been based upon the Anishinaabe 7 grandfather teachings: kindness, honesty, strength, bravery, humility, respect, and love. John Burroughs, an Anishinaabe scholar, argues that the foundation of Indigenous law is love. Love for creation, love for community, and love for family. Chief Knott has practiced Indigenous law for his entire career, and the results of his practice are clear. The Curve Lake First Nation is a well-respected, well-loved, and thriving community. In my tradition, we teach that the best chief is not the one who persuades people to his point of view. It is instead the one in whose presence most people find it easiest to arrive at truth. And we have arrived at truth. Mr. Chancellor, I have the great honor of presenting you for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Chief Kurt Knott of the Curve Lake First Nation.
Congratulations, Dr. Knott. It's now my pleasure to invite you to address convocation.
I'll be back shortly. Honorine, bonjour. Keith Knott, Ndishnik Cos. Kervalik, Divin Chipaw. But I guess a new title had been bestowed upon me. Dr. Knott. I guess that's the way it goes. Some very inspirational words have already been spoken this morning. We cannot overlook the beautiful day that is being presented to us today. The sun is bright, the skies are blue, and what a better way to acknowledging the students of Trent, the graduates, that they sit out here in the sunshine, enjoy the beautiful sunshine the Creator had provided to us, and looking out over the ones that are here. They look just as beautiful as these flowers you see in front of you. The blooms are blossoming. The smiles on the faces. This is what life is all about. Be in the moment. Let's live for the moment. First, I extend my appreciation and great thanks to Trent University for granting me such an honor in receiving this Doctor of Law degree. But I also like to acknowledge Chancellor Tapscott, President Brokey, I hope I said it right. Close enough, he said. Good. Members of the graduating class, oh, you look beautiful. The faculty, what a tremendous job you have done again. The families and friends of the graduates. The family and friends of those who are unable to attend such a beautiful day and such a very, very important event. There are those who need to be mentioned also why I am here. I'd like to acknowledge the Ontario Regional Chief Isidore Day for his support. Miigwech and Dinasa'o. Trent's founding president, Dr. Thomas Simon, who I have been a friend for many, many, many years. Dr. David Newhouse, who I met long before he was part of the faculty here at Trent University. He sat at my council table one night discussing some issues. And I'd also like to recognize Dr. Dan Longboat. They were very also inspirational working towards this moment. And there are other many names I would like to bring forward, but the list goes on and on. Just to make you aware, I had a hard time writing a speech, as I mostly speak without a script, and it all comes from within. I tried at one point in time to read from a script that was written. I couldn't get past the first line. So I just set it aside and brought it all out from inside. But with this special occasion today, I'm going to try and keep within the boundaries of this script that was developed. And to the class of 2017, I want to again congratulate you. You have been within the four walls of learning institutions most of your lives, and now you are graduating to the largest classroom of all, the universe. Here, there will be many inspirational and challenges times, but with perseverance, you will continue to learn and grow. I would just like to give an example of my own learning in this classroom. I only received a grade 8 formal education, but within this universe, I was able to overcome many hurdles, and that allowed me to be who I am by receiving this incredible honor today. Education gives you the foundation to build a brighter future for yourself. I received knowledge by watching, learning, and asking questions. I learned many trades, worked in offices. Then, eventually, I achieved a lifelong dream of leading my community as chief, as a goal I thought of for many years. In that particular paragraph, I would say that never be discouraged. The direction that you want to go isn't within reach as of now. But give yourself the time in order to reach that. As I mentioned earlier, you have the foundation now for that. You can only build from that foundation. We must keep in mind that the road ahead will not always be strong and smooth. There are times that you must take a detour or hit some of them bumps. By keeping the focus on your destination, your goal and the profession that you have chosen, you will return to that smooth road once again. Remember that there are people out there from whom you can ask for help and for inspiration. I have had the privilege to be inspired by a great number of people, such as my family. They're down here. And at this point, I'd like to acknowledge my grandson drove all the way from Ottawa to be here this morning. And also, it's a great pleasure to have my wife here and my daughters here with me here this morning also. Dr. Tom Simons has been a great friend for many years. And there was Mr. William F. Wheaton, who was a mentor to me when I began working for my community. I have come to know that the wisest of all is your family, who know you from the beginning and still love you anyway. They are the inspiration that you can use in times of challenge and times of celebration. On another note, I have been associated with Trent University over 50 years in various ways. I wasn't a student here, but I truly value the overwhelming you can tell I only went to grade 8. Overwhelmingly appreciate that any contribution I've made to the university is acknowledged with an extreme degree. I would suggest, as you go forward, that you keep in mind your surroundings, the ones all around you. Be kind, ask for help when needed. We are blessed to live in a country with such diversity. So much at our fingertips. We are celebrating 150 years of the name of Canada. I celebrate with you this land of time and immemorial, of my ancestors who were here long before the name of Canada, and offer you this. The Creator placed us on earth along with the gift of spirit. The Creator gave us Mother Earth, and as that we look after her gifts of the fire, water, earth, and the wind. The Creator gave us sacred gifts to guide and help us, which is love, truth, respect, wisdom, humility, honesty, and bravery. The Creator also gave us sovereignty to govern ourselves in a way that it would benefit all of us. In closing, the Creator gave us these gifts and asks that we remember the past, the present, and the future. And graduates, may you all soar like the eagle, be wise, strong, and with a watchful eye. So again, thank you all very much for being here with us today, and thank Trent University for honoring me on such a special title. So again, graduates, may your smiles be wide, your feet move fast, reach for the sky, that's the limit. If you must go beyond that, talk to the Creator. So again, thank you all very much. Ha miigwech.
Thank you, miigwech, for those thoughtful remarks, Dr. Knott. Mr. Chancellor, Professor Sean Watma, the Director of the Trent School of Environment, will now present candidates for all degrees. Graduates, as Professor Watma reads your names, you will cross the stage, be greeted by the Chancellor, and then congratulated by myself, and then shake hands with Tracy Aladrisi, the University Registrar. And I ask you to remember that she keeps the records of the university, so it's particularly important that you shake her hand.
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor Environmental Science/Studies, candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate has duly declared worthy of the honour, that they may receive the degree at your hands. Jacqueline Adams. Emily Rebecca Amon. Carly Ann Bays. Dane Blanchard. Monica Fromberger. Derek Craig Latin. Emily Jacqueline Phillips. Vanessa Nicole Potvin. Griffin Williams. Catino Madeira Abro. Rillian Agunos. Erin Kathleen Baxter. Gordon Avon. Stephanie Victoria Beaupre. Tracy Bouchard Foss. Lauren Diana Rose Bauer. Trent Browett. Kindersley Morgan Ryan Brooker. Jessica Lynn Buck. Catherine Campo. Olivia Devon Grace Campsell. Alexander William Cassidy. Tyler Connor Chase. Chin Hang Henry Cheng. Martine Cleary. Beverly Christina Cox. Alexander Brandon Cumber. Okay. Charlotte DeFries. Cheyenne Dugonier. Christina Viktorovna Dagevica. Rowan Devin Droom. Danielle Miranda Dika. Dana Marie Dumo. James Dyer. Matthew Charles Fast. Ashley Fianol. Eric Alexander Ferguson. Helena Raquel Fisher. Erin Elizabeth Ford. Alina Fortis. Mitchell Hunter Fox. Danielle Sophia Gagnon. Chelsea Rebecca Gill. Alexandra Ann Goodlett. Ryan Michael William Gray Brady. Rachel Ann Heron. Melissa Emily Ornby. Natasha Taylor Hudson. Sarah Catherine Hudson. Brianna Ippolito. Yemin John. Dominique Barbara Kelly. Rebecca Catherine Cram. Rebecca Rose Ladd. Brooke Lavalle. Sarah Cecile Fennel Lavigne. Savannah Sierra Logan. Tino Tenda Makosa. Anissa Louise Madden. Carissa Dawn Martin. Dylan Alexander McKay. Kellen McCormack. Zachary Adam Anthony McLaughlin. Caitlin Ann McMullen. Kurt Keith McMurray. Hillary Miles. Alexandria Missick. Mallory Ann Moore. Vanessa Morden. Christopher Morrison. Sydney Munshaw. Haley Devitt Neighbours. Leah Barbara Ogilvie. Henley Olivia Perfect. Krishna Deepa Patel. Henry William Roy Pennick. Monica Beju. Dayala Diva Michelle Popatia. Tessa Pozabon. Bisham Kishan Ranwita. Carly Adele Robertson. Jacob Ryan. Camille Narissa Sharma. Bree Shields Anderson. Claire Michelle Smith. Daniel Case Smith. Elaine Danielle Spiewak. Emma Stapleton. Sarah Strom. Thomas Philip Sivret. Layla Tarakai. Sabina Thiessen. Joseph Richard Thomas. Charlie Nathan Allen Tremblay. Merv 07. Michael Minhoy Van. Emily Marie Elizabeth Vanderway. Katrina Waters. Shoshana Watson. Caitlin Elizabeth Weber. Lindsay Catherine Westdorp. Right, and then just in, okay. Joanna Charity Wheaton. Okay. So now I'm here. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of Bachelor of Environmental Science / Studies degrees. Are these Bachelor of Arts and the Honours? Are these Bachelor of Arts and the Honours now? Yeah. Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Science in the Honours Programme candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate is duly declared worthy of the honour, that they may receive the degree at your hands. Julie Bays Lee. Stephen Anderson. Jennifer Erica Bonche. Marie Michelle Suzanne Benoit. Janella Charity Bradshaw. Kirsty Ann Bowie. Devon Bro. Kathleen Elizabeth Buckner. Diana Calabresi. Colleen Cathcart. Tori Luke Kundary. Paige Elizabeth Cuthbert. Zachary Dawson. Tyler James Dorr. Shelby Margaret Ann Irwin. Emily Dawn Faulkner. Rachel Christine Flinders. Jacqueline Forbes. Ashley Francis Carol Garland. Courtney Joy Gifford. Spencer Gilbert Parks. Priscilla Glassford. Kayla Marie Gorgon. Eric John Grimm. Candice Gummo. Courtney Sage Hamilton. Cameron Hart. Shelby Heath. Alyssa Jane Heimbecker. Jeffrey Anderson. Danielle Hicks. Candice Leanne Ilchuk. Jessica Brenda Hobbins. Olivia Chinoka Ahim. Duncan Robert Ivany. Christine Lynn Jameson. Jordan Kortko. Andrew James Kretz. Nicholas Madden. Madhura Mahan. Katrina Chantel Mason. Carly Rose McCabe. Kyle James McCarroll. Susan McPartlin. Taylor Memory. Shannon Mary Miller. Dylan Brian Muldoon. Sarah Murphy. Lindsay Nash. Kaylee Rose Needham. Stephanie Over. Emily Ann Pankhurst Platt. Justin Christopher Panopoulos. Melissa Parry. Mitchell Ross Perry. Kristin Eve Fazy. Helen Plesko. Justina Marie Poisson. Matthew Alexander Poppleton. Chandan Pradhan. Haley Cassandra Ireland Punt. Caitlin Candace Elizabeth Reynolds. Brett Roblin. Jessica Rose. Jason Matthew Runtas. Alyssa Scrow. Caitlin Alexandra Shaw. Brianne Elizabeth Simon. Emma Helen Somerville. Barbara Soulsby. John Whittington Staino. Brittany Gale Strank. Kristen Lynn Sullivan. Clara Taylor. Mistea Tao. Eric Twanonen. Erin Vankermaid. Christina Annalisa von Bülow. Rachel Wasson. April Emma Ann Whalen. Jocelyn Whalen. Ryan Thomas Wilkins. Amy Yu. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Bachelor of Science degrees in the Honours Programme. Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the General Programme candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate is duly declared worthy of the honour, that they may receive the degree at your hands. Zachary Baranowski. Logan Christopher Crump. Karen Foster. Jasmine Harrison. Shane William Hickey. Lauren Mark Holloway. Emily Dove Lassard. Samantha Martinelli. Kathleen McCulloch. David Milroy. Priscilla Samantha Morgan. Kyriazis Zach Papadakis. Eden Noel Ribrenna. Simon Albert Sawa. Michael Anthony Segovia. Michelle Woodburn. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Bachelor of Arts degree in the General Program. Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Science in the General Program candidates whose names will be read, whom Senate has declared worthy of the honor that they may receive the degree at your hands. Maksuda Bigun. Lindsay Amber Gutowski. Jessica Teresa June O'Flanagan. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Bachelor of Science degrees in the General Program. Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the Diploma Foundations of Indigenous Learning the candidate whose name will be read, whom Senate has declared worthy of the honor that he may receive the diploma at your hands. Gary Zachary John Potts. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the Foundations of Indigenous Learning Diploma. Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to confer degrees and diplomas in absentia on candidates whose names are before you and who are unable to be with us today. I now call upon Provost and Vice President Academic Jackie Muldoon to recognise students who have achieved remarkable success in their studies.
Mr. Chancellor, I would like to draw attention to the Medals and Honours section at the back of the convocation program. Mr. Chancellor, the Dean's Honour Roll recognizes students who have achieved 80% or better in their most recent session and have maintained a cumulative average of 75% or higher. In the program, a small double cross identifies those candidates who achieved this distinction. A small single cross identifies those students who are on the President's Honour Roll for having maintained a cumulative average of 80% or better. Please join me in congratulating the members of both the Dean's Honour Roll and the President's Honour Roll for their outstanding performance. Mr. Chancellor, the Simons Medal recognizes students in the Honours Program who achieve high overall standing on graduation. It is named in honour of Trent University's founding president, Professor T.H.B. Simons, who's with us on stage today. And thank you, Professor Simons. Mr. Chancellor, I call upon you to present the Simons Medal to Kirsty Bowie, Bachelor of Science Honours in Environmental and Resource Science. And to Cheyenne DeGagne, Bachelor of Arts Honours in Indigenous Studies. Mr. Chancellor, Professor David Newhouse will now introduce the honour song.
Before all words can be spoken, we bring greetings to all of creation. We thank the forces that bring us together for another day of life, and we honor all of the life that we stand together with in this universe. And we give thanks for this beautiful day. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, graduates. In the custom of the first peoples of this land, we offer the sound of the drum and our voices to honor our mother, the earth. We send our profound and deepest thanks to all of creation. We all do what we can in order to ensure that the cycle of life that we are part of continues. In our teachings, the sound of the drum represents the heartbeat of the universe. The original sound of creation fills our being and echoes still throughout the universe. We sound the drum to connect us with all of creation, to celebrate life, and to honor those among us who have achieved so much. We offer these words of praise to those who are graduating this day. We offer these words of thanksgiving to those who have made these accomplishments possible. We offer these words of respect to those who have come before us and who have brought dignity and meaning and love to our lives. And we offer these words to remind us to live with kindness, honesty, sharing, courage, and respect. We offer this song for Chief Keith Knott, whose life exemplifies the best of Indigenous leadership. We offer this song to accompany all of you on your travels. May you travel well, and may your lives be filled with grace and dignity. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, graduates, I have the pleasure of presenting Unity, and may I ask you to stand for the honor song. Thank you, Unity. Now that all the words that need to be said have been said, you may be seated.
Mr. Chancellor, I would like to invite Ms. Carly Orser of the Trent University Alumni Association to welcome the graduating class.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, graduates, and honored guests, on behalf of the Trent University Alumni Association, to our newest graduates, welcome to the Trent alumni community. Congratulations on achieving such a remarkable milestone. Only 2 years ago, I sat where all of you are today, and it's truly an honor to share the same pride and gratification I felt then with all of you in attendance. As you too will soon realize, my time here at Trent was not only enjoyable, but defining. As a graduate of this university and a professional within the provincial government, I can attest to the tremendous impact of the values and skill set that I developed on this campus that I now employ every day. Through the classes you have taken, our faculty who truly care about the success of their students, and the family you have become a part of through your experiences here, you will thrive in all endeavors ahead of you. I mean, if we can pull all-nighters for group projects, communally survive on fast food, we can take on anything, right, guys? To touch on the family aspect of this address, your journey through academia was never without immense support. From the beginning, when you were applying to Trent, and only Trent, your family and friends provided guidance to aid in your chances of being accepted. When you arrived on campus for your first semester, you met complete strangers who became a brother or sister to you, whom you couldn't wait to see after school breaks. These people motivated and empathized with you when times were tough so that you could achieve your goals. And now here, at the culmination of your attainment at Trent, your families from all over have come to our little slice of paradise to support and celebrate your success. These people are your parents, grandparents, brothers, and sisters. Also, they are your peers sitting next to you. They are the faculty who sits with me on this stage, and they are the Trent alumni who span across the globe. This group will be an extension of your family through your career, through your higher education, and through life. Please help me in giving a round of applause to family. The Trent University Alumni Association would also like to ensure that they can support you and keep in touch with you even after you leave this incredible university today. In order for this, I would ask all of you to take the time and confirm your contact information through the email that Jess Grover, the Trent University Alumni Association president, had sent you. As an alumni, I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay in touch with your Trent family and continue to be an active member of this school. Trent University will always be a large part of who you are. So on behalf of the Alumni Association, I would like to thank you for confirming this information, and welcome to the family. All of you have achieved something very special. What differentiates you from others is that you accomplished it here at Trent University, an institution which now, much like you, possesses an eclectic set of values, which I know firsthand enables you to make a difference for the betterment of our environment and society. As you move forward, cherish the time you spent here. Remember the times with friends, laugh and smile for all the obstacles you have overcome. Stay in touch with each other to aid in the development as a professional as well as a human being. And finally, be confident you are well prepared to face what lies ahead of you. Graduates of 2017, Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, I would like to thank you for allowing me the privilege to address you on this day. Congratulations on a job well done, and I will see you all at Head of Trent.
Thank you, Carly, and I would also like to say I'll thank you because I won't be there. Thank you for attending the 100th convocation of Trent 50 years from now. We're coming towards the end of the ceremony, so it is time for some thank yous. I think it might be appropriate to ask the audience let's thank our graduates for their perseverance and commitment that it took for them to get to this stage today. And I know this has already been done once and it's not a competition, but let's have the graduates please thank the people who have supported you and made it possible for you to be here today. Well, I said it was not a competition, but I think they won, as is only appropriate today. Congratulations to Dr. Knott on his honorary degree, and congratulations to all the other people who have earned special recognition today. Please join us in the Great Hall of Champlain College, which is just behind the flags there, following the ceremony. The procession will leave the stage following the singing of O Canada, and I would ask you to remain standing until the procession has departed. Mr. Chancellor, I now call upon you to dismiss convocation.
Well, as this ceremony draws to a close, I'd like to thank you all for being here today. And how fortunate to have such a wonderful day, but also to hear the wise words, first from Professor David Newhouse, about Indigenous leadership, that really caused me to think a lot about the kinds of leaders that we have in the world today and how there's room for improvement. And also the very wise words from Dr. Keith Knott. And students, may you have love and bravery. May you be truthful. May you have humility and wisdom. And I know I speak on behalf of all the parents, friends, faculty, staff, and other guests today to say that it's been a great honor for us to be part of your ceremony. And you all deserve to feel very, very proud of yourselves. So this convocation ends one chapter in your life and the beginning of another. And I'd like to close by making a couple of points about that, if I may. I always go off script, but I'm the chancellor, okay? I can do it. The first is that all of you will be successful and prosperous. That's what all the data shows. You're all going to get a job. It's all going to be related to what you've studied. And more important, it's not just what you know when you graduate that counts, but it's your capabilities to think and to research and to think critically and to understand the big picture and to understand the complexities and interrelationships between things and to have a passion for learning lifelong, because you will reinvent your knowledge base multiple times as you go throughout life. And Trent's equip you well to do that. So by all means, be prosperous, have a great family, have lots of friends, have an enjoyable and happy life. But unfortunately, we need you to do more than that. The world you're entering is a world, as you well know, and this class knows, is unsustainable. And it's too conflicted, it's too unequal, and it's too unjust. And I think about this class, people who've chosen to study in a field that they care deeply about that has to do with the earth and its resources and the environment of this little planet and the food systems and the indigenous peoples of this earth. And there's a great and historic task that falls upon you to solve a lot of these problems in the hopes that this little planet that your kids inherit might actually be a better one. And I'm very hopeful for you because I know that you care a lot because of what you've studied. But I've also studied your generation, and I'm impressed. It's just not true, the stereotype about you, that you don't give a damn, you know? And you're evidence of that. You're also plugged in, and at your fingertips, you have the most powerful tools ever for finding out what's going on, for organizing collective responses, for researching, and for bringing about change. So I'm not suggesting you all, run to be the leader of the world or something like that. Change will happen in every laboratory, in every home, in every community, in every workplace, in every school, every family. And I hope that you will teach your children well, along the wise words of Dr. Knott. The second point that I wanted to make is to reflect on a point made by Carly Oser. You know, when I graduated from Trent many years ago, and it was many, I lost touch with the university, actually for a couple of decades. And over time, I started reflecting on this great little institution that had been so formative in my life. And I thought, I think I'm going to get involved, not out of a sense of benefit or of good networking or something like that, although there's lots of that, but more out of a sense that this is an institution that deserves protecting in this time of pressure on post-secondary education. And it's an institution that's worth advancing and cherishing. And that's a real fun job right now because Trent is on a roll and it's doing extraordinarily well. And I don't think this is the early days of a Vegas casino roll or something like that. This is long-term, deep success for this university. But that can only be achieved if you're involved and if there's an active alumni. So please don't make the mistake that I made and provide your email address now and keep in touch. So no matter where the next chapter of your life takes you, Trent's always going to be an important part of who you are. And so you might as well recognize that now. And I encourage you to stay in touch. And I can speak with experience when I say that it's been very rewarding to help the generations behind you to reach this special day for themselves. Dr. Keith Knott said, reach for the stars. Sorry, reach for the sky. That's the limit. May you all soar like an eagle. I'm optimistic about the future because I can see the passion and desire that you will bring to your next endeavor. So go make your mark on the world. Reach for the sky and make us proud. Convocation is now dismissed.